right, bang bang. What's on, guys? Tune to exciting new edition, main event, Talkin Hands. As always, I'm your host, Preston, joined by my host, Mr. Danny Betts. We're here to recap the fight that happened last week and maybe touch on a couple fights for this week. Like I said, nothing too big this weekend. Couple fights over in England, but without further ado, we can jump right into it. Pretty much call this one to a T. I think one person in the comment section after the video last week said new champ. Danny corrected him and said they both have belts, which is correct, obviously. But I from what I took from that was he was going to take Stanionis.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So Boots Ennis gets the job done. Looks very impressive. Fight gets stopped in between round 6 and 7. Pretty much body shots did him in, like we said. Speed advantage was there. Everything, power, everything was there. The advantages. I was worried, but I wasn't worried because the line actually went down before the fight. It was like 800, 750, and it went down to 6 or 650, and some books had like 500.
Yeah.
Danny, what do you think of the fight, the performance, all that good stuff?
Shout out to ODE. I mean, like you said, bro, we called it to a T. Like everything I saw, like the holes in Stanionis' game, his poker face, taking the body shots here and there, trying to hide that he was hurt. And I mean, we basically told you, like, everywhere this fight goes, like, Ennis is just better everywhere. Like, he's just too much, too skillful, one of the best out there, bro. Like, and people still don't know about this guy, which is crazy. But it was perfect for us. Easy cash. That's the big deal. Is he gonna stay at this weight class? You know, he might move up, he might not. You know, sometimes that's the thing. I don't even think we've seen the best out of Ennis, bro. Like,
No,
usually,
yeah.
he's a big dude. For 147, he's big, dude. Like, he's bigger than Terrence Crawford. He's a little bit bigger than Spence. So, like, imagine he goes to 154. I think he's gonna be like, oh my god, he's gonna look way better. Like, look at like the guys like Raymond Ford. Which shout out to him. He had domination. You know, easy.
Yeah, the
Easy,
co-main,
decision.
Yeah.
But that if you're draining yourself so much in your career, like, you know, you could slip up like he did against Nick Ball, and look at him now. At this weight class, he's been looking great. So Ennis, man, is just he's just gotta get those big fights, man, so people could really know who he is, and the dude's so talented, it's crazy.
Yeah, like you said, with definitely, I agreed. Definitely didn't see the best. Like I said, the best is probably yet to come. Knew the fight was over. I would say round 2. Stanionis hit him pretty clean with a shot. Ennis just took it. Then Ennis like hit him with like 3 body shots in a row, and Stanionis just like went back some more. I'm like, yeah, this fight's gonna end somewhat soon. Credit to Stanionis. He took some hard shots during that fight, but
he quit though, even though it was his corner. But if you go to the corner and you heard like what they were saying, he had no fight back. He's just like, okay, like they were telling him like we're gonna call this, bro. Like, and he's just like,
yeah,
go ahead. Like,
yeah, no, he was done.
Like he was gonna get his ass moved. I was saying that, I'm like, bro, parlay that shit with your mama, with whoever, like your house. It don't matter. Like, he's gonna win this fight. Which we talked about it too. And I don't know if you noticed the last 2 years, if a line goes against you, that's a great sign. Like, CLV don't mean shit. Like, that happened to me with a couple more of my bets in PFL and UFC too.
Yeah, no, I think like the narrative was, because we touched on it last week, was it's just seeing the name like Stanionis. Oh, this guy must be a good technical fighter. But you watch the fight. Like, I literally watched the one fight, saw what I needed to see from him. Yeah. Watched Boots. Boots had 2 subpar performances. Yeah. You know, comes back. Eddie Hearn is in the corner, kind of, you know, ramping it up, talking like his trash. And then Boots got the job done. This was a perfect fight for him. We knew it was going to be like an action-packed fight. The guy wasn't going to run away from him. They were going to fight. And if you're in a fight with the better puncher, the better fighter, you're gonna get stopped. So
Yeah.
yeah, odds made no sense. Fight went perfectly. Hopefully, we get those gifts more often. 'Cause,
For real.
yeah, that was definitely a gift. That being said, Dane, what did you think of Eddie Hearn was calling out the other champion at 147 for taps for boots, Norman?
No, easy work. Like shout out to Moicano, easy money.
You think that fight would get made, or
They tried to. I don't know what happened, but something happened on the Norman side, I think it was, or both sides. I don't know how they didn't really like sign a contract or anything. Nasty Nate Lennox was by decision. I still think, hey, when he was coming up, I actually didn't like him. You know, obviously I was young, but I respect the shit out of that guy, bro. He's one of the best heavyweights out there. But yeah, he I think it's easy work, man. Norman, easy. Like, but they were saying like they're not gonna waste time if you don't if they're not getting another belt or another title fight. You know, when he wants to be undisputed, they're just gonna move up, and I respect it because people forget like this dude's 29, 30. He ain't super young,
yeah,
so he's got to get going, get these big fights, and at 154, obviously there's a bunch of names too. So
yeah, no, 154 is where the money is because the
yeah,
other guy
yeah,
with the belt is Barrios, but Barrios fought
easy
to a
money.
draw.
Like
Yeah, Barrios gets hit way too often.
he's gonna fuck him up too.
Uh, and I don't think they would make that fight either. I think the goal should be to move up to 154. Maybe get him and Virgil in the ring. I know that's been talked about multiple times.
That would be man, that would be a great fight.
Yeah, I think that fight makes all the sense in the world. And yeah, I was glad with how Boots looked. Still a little concerned with how many punches he does take, but when he's
Yeah, but he was
fighting,
making him miss like
yeah,
he was showboating a little bit. But he does that, dude. But he's got a chin. Like he got a chin. He does that because he wants to be aggressive when he knows he can. Like you said, he was boxing like the first 2 rounds,
yeah,
and then he felt his power. He's like, and then he just started dog walking him, and it was over after that.
yeah. No, I liked how he started with the jab. He was really
Yeah,
pumping the
yep.
jab out, which was great. And yeah, no, that was the performance he needed. He looked great. Yeah, overall A+ performance there. That being said, we can move on to. I'll go to like previews, although there really isn't too much to talk about. I did find odds though, if we want to talk about the Dalton Smith fight. That's probably the big fight this weekend. Dalton Smith taking on Jermaine. Dalton Smith is obviously the heavy favorite, minus 1,300. Matt to Jermaine is plus 700. Smith by KO minus 390. Smith to win round 1 to 6, even money. Smith to win round 7 to 12, plus 220. So all these guys, if you need a book, go to the description down below. You use FanDuel. We use FanDuel for our odds, and you can sign up using our code below. Danny, I think we both agree Dalton Smith's going to win. Think it's going to be early or late, or any thoughts?
Yeah, kind of tough fight for us to really bet or whatever. But shout out to the chat. Let me read these comments real quick. But Odie said, I personally have made line movement less than 10% of my handicap. Everyone is different, but movement fucks up my data sheet. Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, I agree to a point. I just don't let it change my mind completely. My tape study and style of fights and stuff like that is key. Everything else,
especially in like
yeah.
MMA and boxing, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, obviously you want to get the best number, and it's kind of hard to predict that sometimes. But I've been in a lot of like reverse line movement the other way, and I've been on the right side like a lot, way more than the opposite. I kind of hate it when it like moves too much when you're on the right side, and you're like, oh shit, I don't like that, and I usually lose. But Foxy said Boots much better, looked impressive, but agree he takes some unnecessary shots at times. Yeah, because he tries to entertain people. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, like I said, he's durable. Everybody takes shots. It's fighting. You know what I mean? But yeah, going back to this fight. Speaking of gifts, if you remember Dalton Smith versus Jose Cepeda, we had him by KO, and that was in the plus 200s.
Yeah,
that was easy money. So shout out to Smith for that. He should take care of business here. I mean, I don't have a big like breakdown. Jermaine's been knocked out a couple times in both his losses. I think it was in the 5th round and the 7th round. I think it was. I was looking automatically. I was already looking at 1-6 for Smith for the
Yeah.
knockout. I think it's around like plus 140 ish. Um, but I mean, I could see him creeping over just a little bit over too. So I'm debating either 1-6 or like 5-8. I think he's just too much. Younger guy, I think by like 6 7 years. Too much power, too much athleticism. Momentum, everything's on his table. So he definitely should get it done. I'm not. I'll be super surprised. It'll be a humongous upset if Jermaine wins. So I got Smith all day on this one.
Yeah, and what I don't like about his opponent is all his fights are in Montreal, Canada. Like
Hmm.
he just fights at the same venue over and over. So he's not a top guy. Like he's not a top name. The record's gonna be fluffed up. Uh, I don't know if this is a mandatory. I would assume it's a mandatory defense for Smith because I don't see why he would take this fight after
Yeah,
two good performances. And I think he has the goods. I actually think he's a pretty good
he
fighter.
is. He is.
Good action fighter, good punching, good combinations, decent power, and I think he can get his name to the point where he can fight in America and get bigger fights. But yeah, I agree. I think he's going to get this guy out of here. I guess 1-6, but it's even money, which is kind of wild. And then the KO
Yeah,
props like -400, which is even crazier. So tough fight overall to call. Well, not tough fight to call, but tough fight to pinpoint how the way you want him to win, because nothing bothers me more than having the winner losing the prop and
yeah.
seeing what the hell
Well,
happened.
dude, I'll be super surprised if he doesn't get a knockout. Like,
Yeah.
super surprised.
Foxy here with the comment: Adam Azim ducking Dalton Smith bad.
Bro,
That's the fight UK wants.
Foxy, bro, I'm waiting till the day. If he fights him, I've been waiting for it to fade Azim. If he fights Smith, that's gonna be the one for sure. But I don't. I'm with you. I don't think he's trying to fight him. Yeah, at least yet.
Yeah, no, I think Dalton Smith's the top guy basically there near that like weight class. Yeah, I really liked him. Uh,
Yeah, he's just gotta get his name out there. Like he doesn't really have a big name opponent.
yeah, and it's tough with those fights in UK, which I guess we could sort of touch on. Like, there's a rematch fight this weekend, especially for us, like in America, because these fights happen middle of the day, which
Yeah,
isn't too bad. But on the weekend, I don't think many people want to tune into an all British affair at 3 p.m. between
unless
two
you're a
guys.
hardcore like us.
Yeah,
I'm all,
yeah,
I'm always. I stay watching, man. I have to.
yeah. That fight is, of course, Ben Whitaker taking on Liam Cameron. First fight ended kind of controversially, so they ran it back. Ben Whitaker is -300. Liam Cameron is +215. I want to say this is last dance for Liam Cameron, but I know he would need the win, I think, more. Ben Whitaker is still a young fighter. And Cameron, this is a big time fight for him to get his name out there. Uh, Dan, you like anything here? Obviously, no need to make a best bet or nothing.
Yeah, to be honest, I have no idea where I'm going with this fight at all. Like,
Yeah.
I still got other fights to like catch up on. I know my boy Charles Conwell. He's another guy a lot of people don't know about. He's actually from here, Cleveland, Ohio. He's fighting that night. Fondora's sister's fighting.
Yeah, she's the main event.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so Conwell I think is the co-main. He's
Yeah.
another sleeper, man. Dude's got power. I can't believe they gave me his last fight. They gave me his knockout at -138. I'm like, what? Easy money again. But hey, as long as people don't know about him, that's what's up. But I'm pretty sure they're not gonna give me a good price. I don't even think there's props. I'm looking at it now. I don't see it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I still got to dig in. But I agree. I'm thinking Liam Cameron like late KO, but not sure if I'm gonna pull the trigger yet or not.
Yeah, I'll probably, like I said, pass this fight. I prefer the Smith early props.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, just knowing what he can do and how he fights. And I'll have to watch his opponent a little bit more, but I actually like how Dalton Smith fights. Quick shout, Von Polo and Chad. Von Polo here every week.
Yes, sir. My boy Ron.
And Foxy, a lot of controversy with the contract. They said a 12-round fight contract it was signed. Then they tried to change it to 10 rounds. Cameron's team was not happy.
That's interesting.
That's happened before in these British
Yeah.
cards
Yeah.
where they're like, we think they're 12-round fights and they make them 10-round fights.
I hate that because then the sports book have it 12 and then
Exactly. They
I find out like the day before.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah, that's bullshit. That they're 5 days out from the fight. They still don't know how many rounds they're gonna fight.
That is wild. I don't know how that happens. If I sign a contract, that's before my camp, I'm making sure I know how many rounds. And I never put money on Whittaker guy. I can't, bro. I can't stand that guy. Like, it's hard to bet his fights. He likes to talk about showboating. That motherfucker.
Yeah,
he be doing some crazy dumb shit. Like, I can't stand. It's to the point that it's annoying. I'm not putting my money on. Like, imagine if I got a knockout and you're over here going like this and fucking breakdancing and shit. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I've seen 2 clips. Like, his hands are on his knees and he's like trying to moonwalk back and like.
Yeah, he almost got humbled. I can't wait till the day he gets humbled. Like legit.
Yeah, he's not going to do nothing in the long run. I don't think his skills are there either. Plus, he's in a tough division, 175, and he's a big kid that who knows if he'll move up or not. But yeah, he's
yeah. But Prince is like, I don't want to say legend. Like, he's an OG. He started that shit. But it was more like that was actually more entertaining and funny. Whittaker's just annoying. Like, it's just like, dude, just stop. Because
I think he's like a TikToker, basically.
Yeah, it's like, dude, what the fuck? Even I remember, I don't know if it was the last fight or 2 fights ago, the ref was getting on his ass. Like, dude, like, stop. Like, fight. Like, he was turning his back and everything. Like, if you get the wrong ref, bro, he'll wave it off. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to be doing that. I mean, it is what it is. We'll see.
Yeah, he's I don't think he's anything, honestly. So
he's got some talent, but he's not.
No. That being said, we can move on to any boxing news we've seen. The only 2 pieces I would like to speak on would be, which I think maybe we talked about last week, or it happened right when we started last week, was Keyshawn Davis has another hometown fight June 7th. So that's coming up pretty soon, less than 2 months, against Edwin De Los Santos. Edwin De Los Santos,
that's gonna be a banger.
Who people should know. He fought Shakur in one of the fights we previewed where I thought Shakur could have done more. Shakur did nothing, and that pretty much started to sour everyone on Shakur.
Everybody and I think up and down.
Yeah, I'm still on the point. I've been done with him for.
I'm just saying, like, people. Yeah. It's like when we break down fights, just like the Ennis fight. Like, recency bias because he had a bad performance because of the style in his last fight. The same shit. Everybody be all hype with Shakur, and then that happened, and it was like, no. Same thing with Tank. All hype, and then his last fight, obviously. But yeah, actually, I've seen Dos Santos way before that. He's Dominican. He's Samson. I think he's still with Samson. I don't know if he is or not, but he found him obviously. But he had a big upset against Rayo. That's when he really built up his name because he was like a big underdog.
Yeah.
And I knew he was live, but I didn't pull the trigger, and he knocked him the fuck out. I forget what round it was, but it was pretty early. That's when people started noticing who he was. But that's gonna be a banger, bro.
Yeah, no, I think Keyshawn's one of the guys that I rate
because Keyshawn ain't gonna do what Shakur did.
Yeah, I rate him super high because it was the same instance. His last fight was against Burchek, and I think it was favored to go to the decision.
Yeah, he
just murdered him. Yeah,
I thought he could survive. I was wrong on that one.
Yeah, Keyshawn's a guy. Yeah, I'd put him up there for sure. He's I think it's Top Rank. He's with Top Rank, I believe, and they got to really start promoting the hell out of him because he's good. He's really, really good. Other thing I saw, Andy Cruz has a fight. Andy Cruz, a highly decorated lightweight, I believe, two-time Olympic gold
Yep.
medalist. He's got a fight coming up. Co-main event to the Hitchens George Kambosos card. Hopefully, if he gets a win there, uh, maybe he'll get Tank. Who knows, right? I doubt it,
Who
but
knows?
uh, that's the only like other boxing news I saw. Kind of a slow week news wise.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, summer's coming around, so these big fights are gonna come up pretty soon.
Yeah, and really, once we get it's 2 weeks away. The triple or quadruple like main
That
event.
yeah, 2 weeks. That's gonna be Friday and
Yeah,
Saturday. The
yeah,
whole weekend.
yeah. Because I think anyways Sunday.
Yeah, we got the Ryan Garcia card Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Canelo Saturday, and then anyway Sunday. That shit. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be betting so much that weekend and drinking a lot of tequila.
I really want to see the Ryan Garcia props when they come out.
Yeah, dude. I mean, never mind. I don't want to give. I want. We'll wait 2 weeks.
Yeah,
We'll wait 2 weeks. I don't want to give it away yet.
yeah, um, yeah. That's really it for us guys. If we have a bet, we can touch on it. I like the 1-6. I know Danny was talking about that earlier. That's
Yeah.
about the only thing I like. I don't know much about Cameron, and then Whitaker. Like I say, I don't watch a ton of the all British fights, and just I agree. I'm just not a huge fan. Um, Danny, do you have anything for the people? Want anything to touch on before we get on out of here? Before next week is though a good, exciting British fight, of course.
Yeah. Next week, I'll probably have a really, really big. I don't know about Mex, but pretty big bet on somebody next week. This week is kind of low volume. I still got digging in some of these smaller fights because there is like a couple smaller cards and another card here and there. But yeah,
Yeah, like
best bet.
Josh Warrington's fighting.
Yeah, best bet would be right now so far. Like for this fight, Smith 1-6. Not
Yeah,
super confident because I think it could creep into like 7 or 8. Um, but at plus money, minus 400 for his KO prop. I think he should get it. I'll be super surprised if he don't get a knockout. It's just when. So I'm gonna go 1-6. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think two of his knockouts have been after the 6th round. So I mean, if you're doing like that, like we should cash. But if this guy's just in there to get a paycheck and survive, run around,
yeah,
but we'll see. I like 1-6 though. I plus money too. They're both plus
yeah,
money, but
yeah. I'd probably go 1-6, even money. I like him a lot. I like Dalton Smith quite a bit, so that's where I would be leaning. All right, guys. That being said, Danny, let the people know where you can find you, what you got going on. No UFC this weekend, unfortunately, but I know there's PFL action.
yeah, follow me at Denny Betts with 2 Z's everywhere. And hey, I know it's a boxing show, but I've been a lot in like other sports, especially MMA. I've been cashing. Shout out to Patty the Batty, my max bet. Let's go. Things like that. Patreon, my for my boxing bets to get all my boxing bets early. Hit up the chat. We always talk about fights and things like that there. Like he said, no UFC this Saturday, so I won't be on the stream. I couldn't have been the last 2 weeks, but I'll be there next week for sure. It's a decent card next week too. So
Yeah, the Ian Gary
Kansas
Prates.
Kansas City, right? Yeah, Kansas City.
Yeah,
So that's a pretty good card. I'm gonna dig into that. PFL, I was telling my boy Preston, I think I'm gonna go heavy. Check out my Twitter. I always tweet it out. I'm gonna go heavy on Psy. He's finding a guy named Rosta. That's his name.
yeah,
Rosta?
Dalton Rosta. Yeah,
I don't get this line. It's like minus 120, minus 130. I think he wins like by knockout or decision, like pretty easily in my opinion. But that's probably my biggest bet for PFL this week.
yeah. PFL's been good. If you guys need a show, Billy's been doing them with Joey DFS. Those come out the night
We've been
before.
bro. All three of us have been on the same page the last two events, and we've been cashing.
Yeah. Swig, shout out to you, Swig. Swig in the chat. What's going on, Swig? make sure to tune in that PFL show. I think it's Thursdays, 7 p.m., maybe a little later, Central Time. Tune in to the Locker Room Talk podcast. That will be starting here shortly. Of course, tune to all the other content here at Pub Sports Radio, Jimmy the Bag, Bang with the Bag, all the live streams, baseball live streams. And it is NBA playoff season, so that should be fun. Hopefully we get a new champion this year.
Cavs, baby. Get it done for your boy. All my teams winning this year.
Hopefully. Yeah, that'll be it for us, guys. We'll see you guys next week for another edition, Main Event, Talkin Hands. See you guys. Peace.